Okay, great. Welcome back. Sorry, I took a week off last week. Well, I'm not exactly sorry. I went to Yellowstone and we ran Tetons, so that was pretty awesome with my mom and nephews and niece. So I got a good run there out in the wilderness, but I'm glad to be back. And it's a little warm today, although it's like more muggy today here than it is warm. It's been hotter and sunnier earlier in the week. Let's go ahead and start marching our legs. So I may end up like, kind of feel sort of a mugginess going on. I may end up opening a window or something, but as I may have never mentioned this on the video stuff before, but you're always, of course, you're doing this at home, so feel free if you need to go get water or take a break and cool off or go and change your temperature somewhere in your house or whatever needs to be done to adjust for this practice. You're welcome to obviously do that without disturbing me, since I'm just going to keep going here, and then you can rejoin anytime you want. As I like to start my classes, just sort of talking and moving at the same time to check in with my students, but I ask you to check in with yourself here. Notice how your breath is right now. Notice if you can elongate your breath as you're stepping one foot out and back to center, and then the other foot out and back to center. Notice if you can get any taller in the low back, in the spine as you step, and try to keep the upright body not adjusting too much to these hip sockets getting warmed up. We'll go extending a leg and tapping the heel in front of us here, just to change the dynamic in the leg and which part of the leg we're accessing. We're now working thighs and hamstrings a little bit as we walk a little more forward. And then we'll actually get into the ankle by going out and tapping tiptoe to the ground. So try to go out and just dip your toe in an imaginary pool over the edge of your mat or out in front of you, whatever that is. And then go out and tap your left heel and tap your right toe. When you go out, tap your left heel and tap your right toe. And then right away we'll switch, tap your left toe and your right heel. Go out and tap your left toe and your right heel. And one more time there, changing it up. And then let's step our feet out both wide here. Take your hands to your knees and lengthen your spine up. Roll your shoulders in circles. Take a deep inhale and exhale as you might feel inclined to do so. Roll your shoulders the other way. And sit up and widen your arms as well now. Just take up as much space in the room as you can. Send those fingertips wide. Feel the energy established from the center of the heart out through the fingertips. Feeling a connection from the periphery to the center and back out again. We're going to keep our arms wide. Try to look forward and notice if your hands are in your peripheral visions. Get them possibly out of the peripheral vision, wide enough that they're not in the peripheral vision, and try to keep them out of the peripheral vision as you dial left arm up and right arm down, and then switch and dial wide, keeping them out of your peripheral vision as you dial the left arm down and the right arm up. And keep the arms wide, dialing big circles here. See if your eyes start to stray or look for something, just keep your eyes glued forward if you can, and noticing your peripheral vision as you go up with the left arm last time, and then wide, and up with the right arm last time. Now here, pause and reach a little more with the right side. Notice the right sitting bone plugging into the chair as you extend from that right sitting bone through the fingertips. And then also still reach the left arm down towards the ground. Can you do both? Reaching the right arm up and the left arm down at the same time. biggest distance between the hands as possible. Then we'll do a rotation slow out to the sides and switch. The left arm goes up, the right arm down. And lengthen that left sitting bone into the chair as you reach from there up through the left fingertips. The right arm down towards the ground any further, even as you lengthen the left side. Try not to lean, but just reaching greater. Go back out wide to the sides with both arms. Pull the hands any further back if you can. Collarbones getting open, palms maybe turning a little more towards me, or even after that, turning the pinkies towards me so that your palms start to face the ceiling. Great. Let's do a hug, one arm over the other, around the chest here. If you can get your fingertips to the outer shoulders, do so. Good. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and pull your belly in and round your back a little bit here. Then roll the pelvis forward, lift the heart up, lift the elbows possibly, arch the back a little bit, elbows up. And then exhale and round the back, rolling the pelvis to the backs of the sitting bones, and then inhale to the fronts of the sitting bones as you roll your pelvis forward and lift the heart and ribs. Exhale one more time, rounding the back, elbows into the belly, and then inhale, arching the back and lift the elbows if available. And then back to a neutral spine, take your arms wide again, inhale. Pull the hands back. Now notice which arm you put on top, I don't think I said. Try to do the other arm on top now, crossing possibly the other way. If it feels the same, go the other way, or if you're not sure, try the other way. Here we're just gonna add twists instead. So keeping the feet wide, keeping the thigh bones wide, in fact, encouraging the knees out to the sides more, turning the chest, whatever's available. You don't have to go into any pain in the low back if this does do anything. Just adding a little rotational spine. So note, if you're just moving the elbows and the chest stays forward, really try and initiate from the midline of the body. Or maybe one other way to think of where you initiate is pulling the left ribs back when you're turning left, the back left ribs back. So there's someone's got a handle on your back on one side and they're pulling you to twist open to that side. And they've got the handle on the back left as they pull you to twist open to the left. Release that, take your hands back to your knees, step your feet back into center, and wag your knees in and out. Take a nice deep breath. And then step the feet nice and neutrally here. I'm gonna rock to heels and toes. If you can, be still upright in the spine. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And the long back of the neck actually means the face could be tilting slightly down so that the base of the skull lifts. Right? So instead of dropping the head forward, you're not necessarily dropping the head forward, you're almost like you're trying to make a double chin to some degree and then come out of that just enough so that your chin's parallel to the floor. And that action of drawing the earlobes back over the collarbones and the base of the skull up in the back is what lengthens the back of the neck. Go to tiptoes this next time. Stay on tiptoes and squeeze the calves into the backs of the shins and get tall in the spine. Breath there. Maybe even imagining lifting those knees up into your hands. Not off the ground, but just up in the hands. And then release that and step your feet forward straight, legs, pulling the toes back if you can stay stable here. Maybe the hands are on the chair for stability. You might put your hands on the heels of the hands on the chair, roll your shoulders up to your ears and back, and arch your back, lifting the heart. Pointing the elbows back behind you, I'll turn to make it more clear where I'm at. Up here, pushing into the heels of the hands, not necessarily lifting yourself off the chair, but if you're interested and inclined, feel free to play with that. But really all I'm looking for is an opening in the front body and extension through the back of the legs. And then step your feet back to the floor, right in front of you, hands on your knees. Roll, or rather, circle your torso over your hips. And if you haven't taken a deep exhale lately, take a deep exhale. And circle the torso the other way. And again, look for the widest circle you can make with your heart here. Stirring a big cone around the hips, over the hips. You have a big cone, establishing a big cone space from the hips up. End up forward leaning. Forward leaning. The next time you get out over your legs, stay there and fly your hands back and roll the shoulder blades open. Notice, oftentimes people reaching their hands back, put the palms facing backwards and the shoulders end up rolling forward. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just one angle. Today I'm going to encourage opening the shoulders, rolling the shoulders out. So heads of the arm bones roll up and out and open. And the palms turn over so that the palms face away from the hips. People think they can get their palms face away from the hips the other way, which is totally possible. I'm looking for collarbones wide, shoulders open, palms facing away from the hips. From here, stay forward leaning. Reach your right arm forward and twist, looking over the left shoulder to your left hand. Reach both arms in both directions. Inhaling. Good. Exhale. Switch. Slowly walk the arms until the left arm's forward. The right arm is back. Stay forward leaning. Still reach way out over your legs like you're trying to reach for something across the room. But you might be looking at right hand. Switch again. Walk your arms. Keep your torso forward leaning over the legs. Turn and look over to your left hand. Good. One more time. Switch. Left arm forward, right arm back. Look at your right hand. Big stretch. Both arms high. Good. Turn back to face forward. Just put your elbows down on your knees. Let your head rest forward. Relax the whole spine. Slump the spine even. Resting like a hammock. The torso is sort of the hammock for the spine that's resting into it. Elbows are nice solid support. You might even hear wag your head left and right to release any tension in the neck. Again, an exhale, deep exhale, which brings a deep inhale. Gently lift your chest back up out of that. Upright spine, take the arms wide and overhead, inhale. Set your hands together at your heart, exhale. Hands stay together, shoot them up overhead, inhale. Exhale, push your palms out wide and down. Exhale. Turn your palms over. Inhale, lifting again, like the air is a little bit heavy. Overhead, inhale. Hands to your heart. Exhale, right down the midline. Keep your hands together as they go overhead. Inhale. Get as straight in those elbows as you can, and turn your palms away from each other. Exhale, push wide and down, like the air is a little heavy. Down and round. One last one, turn palms over, lift that heavy air back up to the sky. Set your hands together down to your heart, exhale. Relaxing shoulders when you get your hands to your heart, and then keep the shoulders relaxed. Shoot the arms up overhead as best you can. Shoulders stay relaxed even though they're going to squeeze up to the neck. Straighten those elbows, turn your palms away from each other and down out to the sides, exhale. Good, now just take your palms forward. So the palms face up right in front of you. Good. Then widen the arms out to the sides. Palms still face the ceiling. Out of the peripheral vision if you can. Pushing the thumbs into imaginary walls. Good. Then you're going to, as though there's an accordion between your hands, slowly close your hands together. Palms together at your heart. And relax your shoulders. Find a neutral spine. Close your eyes for a moment. For a few moments here, we'll just turn our attention inward with eyes closed, palms resting against each other gently. Breath fluid in the body. And noticing where your weight is over your sitting bones. Do you feel like you're leaning forward in any way? Try and center yourself right over the center of the sitting bones, if you can feel that. Sitting bones right under the buttocks, pushing the buttocks into the chair. It takes practice to find this alignment from an internal point of view. You feel upright, not leaning forward or back or to one side or the other more. Notice if the weight feels even in both sitting bones. If you're leaning one way or another, evenness. From there, from the sitting bones down, can you relax the thighs, the front hip sockets? Even imagine maybe the thighs attached to kneecaps. Relax a little bit, even though you're trying to stabilize your legs still. So if your legs are still, then you can let them rest right over the feet if they're not still, and there's any tremors or other movements, dyskinesia, just allow it to be. So this practice here, we may not be still, but we can calm the mind in stillness, so that we can practice calming a stillness into the mind, whatever the body's doing, whatever sensations the body has. And we do that by going to the breath and playing with regulating or evening out the breath, or even there, if the breath feels like it has to do its own thing, your attention stays on the breath rather than on other thoughts about how things should be or shouldn't. Bring your attention to your breath. Letting things come into the mind and out just as the breath comes into the body and out, not attaching to any particular thing. So we're always working in yoga to integrate awareness, attention of all things, all energies in the body, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, or whatever else you imagine energies that your life is about. Seeing it all as one integrated entity of self. And that part of you that's observing that is even possibly a little bit bigger, a little more space. You can have a compassionate attitude towards self. So from here, eyes might still be closed. We just bring your attention in. We're going to chant some ohms. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to something that inspires your life, enlivens you, for you to do so, whether it's a person, an element in nature, or nature itself, or spiritual entity. Dedicate your practice in service of that which enlivens you. And we'll chant 3 ohms. Take an inhale. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. You might keep your eyes closed for the next 2 inhales through the nose. Exhales through the mouth. Last one, deep inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhale through the mouth. Go ahead and open your eyes. Let's interlace our fingers and start rolling our wrists. Just take note of whatever that practice did, that practice of attention inward and centering practice is what we call it in yoga. It's the centering practice of getting yourself here and now in the body, getting your attention here and now in the body. Trying to shed any of the other distractions that the mind wants to have from the day or from the future. Go ahead and open your elbows and push your palms down to your lap. You might sweep your hands forward if your shoulders allow. Try and keep your shoulders low as you push the palms forward and squeeze the backs of the hands towards each other. Stretch more of the palm. One more breath. Good. Release that and shake the hands out. And then open and close your palms in strong fists and opening wide. Then take your palms again together. Interlace the awkward way. The other first finger starts the interlace, and you'll feel a little awkward in this interlace, and then roll your wrists again. If you can roll your wrists in opposite way, so if there's sort of a figure 8 going, try and track the figure 8 the opposite way. If it's difficult to find multiple directions to take this, just do a tick-tocking. That's totally fine, left and right. That will also get those wrists going. You can do left and right and a tumbling of the forearms forward and back. So there's a swivel there. Try that. Then again, we'll open the elbows, reach the palms down, shoulders down. The elbows don't have to go straight. The fingers don't have to be straight. All up to your wrists and fingers. Could be very different for you than anyone else in the world. So play with the general idea of the pose. So you could be stretching fingers just by pulling them one at a time or something else. But here, stay if your fingers are interlaced. If you want to go higher, feel free to go higher if it feels safe for your shoulders. Try to keep your low ribs down at the same time as you lift the hands. So it's almost like an oppositional force of pulling those low ribs down. So there's a tendency to just arch the back here, but that's actually cheating the shoulders with a good stretch. So low ribs down as you lift the arms up to try and get the shoulder stretch. You should maybe feel it along the inner upper arm there or down into the sides. Here we'll try swiveling the left ribs and then the right ribs back and forth. Almost like a bell that's ringing. The rib cage is a bell that's ringing left to right. Good, and then if you like, go for the back bend. Feel free to lift the low ribs and lift the heart and arch. Maybe even looking up if that feels okay. Good, release that interlace, take your arms out wide and down. And then here, we're gonna take the arms forward in front of us again, palms facing up for a moment. And turn the arms over, put the backs of the wrists together. Dive your head down between your arms, pull your belly back and around your back deeply. Roll into the backs of the sitting bones. So it's a big C shape. I'll turn to my side just to show you the shape I'm making. Diving your head down and rounding out that back, stretching the back. From here, we're going to lift the heart, turn the pelvis over, bring the elbows into the rib cage, roll the shoulders back and lift even the chin, but not just to collapse the back of the neck. Lift the heart up through the chin, and then we'll go the other way. Backs of the hands together again. Diving the head down to the sternum, and then inhale. Open, elbows go into the rib cage, palms face up, thumbs push back, heart lifts. Exhale, turn over again. Backs of the wrists together, dive your head, lift your belly. Inhale, turn the pelvis over, lift the heart, arch the full back from tailbone to the crown of the head. One more. Exhale, round, dive wrists together. Inhale, lift, heart, arch, elbows into the ribs. And then keep the arms back, straighten the arms back, lean forward, out over the legs. Now, slowly sweep the hands down, slowly sweep them forward and up, possibly along the ears. If you could dive your head down anymore, almost trying to get a straight line from sitting bones to fingertips. Shoulders in line. A lot of work in the back body. This is a modified warrior 3 pose in the seat. Work in the back body, holding those arms up for one more breath. Awesome. Release forward, bending all the way over the legs. This could be down with the arms by the shins, or you could put your elbows on your knees if that's more comfortable. Try and get into a full, comfortable position here, where you can drape yourself on legs or arms and let the whole torso rest. Obviously, take deep breaths if that's not happening for you yet. Including deep exhales. Try not to just take a deep inhale and then let half of it out. Really fully exhale. That's where the calming can really deepen. One more long breath. Let the back of the neck get long, top of the head to the floor. Lift your head, inhaling, lift your heart, reach the arms forward and up overhead. Big stretch here, sitting bones to the floor or to the chair really, and arms reaching up, good. Let's do a little swivel there like we're reaching for the higher cherries on the tree. You know, cherries have gone out of season or just heading towards the last end of the season. They might just be the highest fruit left. I'm not actually sure how that all works. I've never picked cherries, but we'll just go with it. And then let's go one time out wide to the sides, so elbows in a cactus pose here. So sort of goal posts, if you can get your forearms perpendicular to ground. And the upper arms parallel to the ground. Yeah. Good. Yep. Pull the elbows back here. It's just a little different access to squeezing the shoulder blades together and getting open. Try to keep the elbows as the height of the shoulders and close the elbows together here and wrap the shoulder blades around the sides. You're opening, you're doming almost. You're almost doming up that mid-back, the upper back around the shoulder blades. Then you're going to open, squeeze the shoulder blades together around the spine and the back. Exhale, close the elbows together, wrap the shoulder blades away from the center spine. Inhale, draw elbows wide, squeeze shoulder blades together. One more of those. Exhale, close elbows together, wrapping shoulder blades around out of the center of the spine. Inhale, open, and try and close the shoulder blades together across the spine. Good. Release those arms down, roll the shoulders out. Take the tension out by rolling. And then we're actually going to do some twisting here, rolling one shoulder down and forward and up and then the other. So big swimming action here. Try to let the whole torso turn with the shoulder that's going back. Or really with both shoulders, right? So torso turns to help the shoulders do the full swivel. Try swiveling now with a front stroke rather than a back stroke. So you're rolling the shoulder more. Attention on the shoulder rolling forward, down, and then back, and then up in the back and forward and down. So two different ways of going. Good. Rest your hands on your knees. We're going to practice rocking, sitting bones on the chair. So this rocking action is super key to keeping mobility and walking. And for Parkinson's especially, it's a challenge. The rocking motion gets harder and harder to engage over time, depending on how fast you're progressing. It can be quick, it can be a long time. We want to keep working it, even if you feel like you got it down easy. Now, rocking and walking at the same time. So we're adding two motions together. One is left to right rocking rather, and the other is swiveling the hip. So you might take your hands to your hips just to notice. You might even look down at your hips and notice and try to walk yourself to the front and back of the chair. I had a student the other day call this the butt walk. You're welcome to call it whatever you like. Whatever gets your attention into the movement, we're trying to walk our sitting bones forward and back. And it's really good for the core. And it's really useful to practice if you have a hard time getting out of chairs or out of the car, out of the lazy boy, get out of the couch. Now we're going to end up walking ourselves to the very front of the chair, right? So get to the front of the chair so that you've got a good amount of space behind you to be able to play with some sit-up type actions. Now, once you get to the front of the chair, make sure your feet aren't tucked up close to the chair. Step them out also beyond the knees. Just a little bit, not super long, but just right, just past where the knees are over. Take your arms forward now. Again, arms forward, and then we're going to shorten the distance between the low ribs and the pubic bone. So this is an action of rounding the low back slightly. It's not extreme like we were doing before, just the low back. You can just kind of roll the pelvis back if possible and shorten the distance, but keep the heart upright there. Try not to have too much tension in the neck. We're going to start leaning back and then sitting up. Simple, what looks like a simple action may still be quite challenging. Simple doesn't equal easy, right? So just rocking back and forward. This is the first practice, getting that core work going. Now, we're going to add to that. So when you lean back, start marching your knees. You're going to pause and then start marching your knees. So we're leaning back and holding. And you may be holding still if it's tough to march the knees. Don't do it, but it may be actually that marching the knees gives your low back a little release. So you could be in somewhat of a reclined position where your heart is behind your hips, and your knees are marching. Now, we're going to add to that. So stay here if this is getting plenty of work in your core. To add more, we'll twist towards the lifting knee and try and bring the opposite elbow outside that knee. So now left knee up, right elbow outside the knee, drop that left knee. Now turn to the other side, whatever side you went to, and that opposite elbow outside that opposite knee. So back and forth there, lifting the knee, turning towards the lifting knee. So both arms get outside that lifting knee. You get that knee as high as possible, turn your chest as far as possible. Let's pause in one of those. Stay here and do any more twisting and lifting. And then switch, pause on the other side. Last thing. Might be getting warm, totally good thing. Turn back to center and lengthen your legs out. Widen the legs, widen the arms out. Lean back against the back of the chair, just spread out fully. Big breath. Pointing the toes, expand the fingertips. Again, take note of energy flowing from fingertips to the center of the body, from toes to the center of the body, and back out again. Let's slide the legs together, slide the arms up alongside the ears and stretch in one big line. Pointing the toes, leaning back. Feel free to do a big back arch here, looking up and lifting your heart and arching your low back. If your chair back is low enough, you might be able to drape yourself over the back of the chair and look backwards. I'm running out of wall space here, but feel free to reach as far as you like, and then turn your head back to face forward if that's any strain on your neck. But obviously, you probably came out of it. Take your hands to your belly and step your feet back to the floor. And just warm up this right leg. Take the right knee up. Hold on to the knee and circle the knee with your arms. Try and let the leg be totally relaxed so that your arms are doing the work. Go as wide to the sides as possible. That's really key. Sometimes people just move their foot. They're moving their knee. So the knee itself, which is really what we're trying to do, is stir in the hip socket here. Stirring the hip socket with the thigh bone. Circle the other way. Get as much mobility out of that as you can, left to right. So it's a wide oval to the sides. The next time you draw your knee close to your chest, bring it up even closer, roll your forehead to the knee, and circle your right ankle. Exhale. Take a big inhale into your belly and expand your low back. Lift your head, widen your right knee out to the side with your right hand. Take your left arm out wide to the side and open up the chest here. Now, we're going to circle the right, let's point and flex the right foot. Play with pointing and flexing the right foot. Now, can you keep that going and circle the left wrist? Keep the right ankle only pointing and flexing, but the left wrist circling. New little challenge I've tried to come up with here that's isolating these mirror joints, the wrist and the ankle are mirroring each other with the arm and leg. But we're doing, one is circular motion, the other is linear motion. It'd be hard. Try and reverse the circles in the wrist, but keep the right foot only flexing. All right, come back to center with that right knee. Grab it with your left hand, pull the right knee towards your left shoulder. Take your right arm out wide, turn your chest to the right, and root the right sitting bone into the chair. Deep breath there. Turn back to face center. Grab this right knee, turn the shin as best you can, open, or the right foot towards the midline, the right knee wide to the side. Rock the knee a little bit, or the shin left and right. This will open up the hip a little bit more before we go into full pigeon stretch here in the right hip. So now put the right ankle on the left knee, pull the right toes back and extend through the heel. Keep the right knee open. Either stay back and you'll be getting stretch hopefully in the outer hip. If you're getting stretch only in the front hip, try to lift your low back and arch the back, or play with sitting up, and you'll start to, when you get that pelvis to start to fold forward or to hinge forward, Then I'll move the right sitting bone back away from the thigh bone. Sitting bone is part of the pelvis, so the pelvis will actually, the bottom of the pelvis goes back when the front top of the pelvis goes forward. And that provides the stretch in the outer right hip. Keep those right toes pulled back to keep the right knee safe. If you have any pain in the knee, back off, please. The knee should not be getting any stretch here. I'm not trying to stretch anything in the knee, ever. If you can, lengthen the low back again, re-engage with your sort of alignment of squareness here. So both sitting bones should still be getting pretty even weight. Sometimes there's a leaning to kind of get out of the stretch. So instead of leaning to one side to get out of stretch, lean back to get out of stretch or forward. Trying to stay symmetrical. Maybe you fold forward if there's more stretch to be had for you. Another thing is always having that left shin bone perpendicular to the ground. So if you're here and you're knocking over the pedestal of the left leg, try and set it up so the left leg is a perfect pedestal. And you can even relax the left leg as much as you're trying to relax the right leg. The only parts of the right leg that should be engaged as far as energy is just pulling those right toes back and extending through the right heel and Achilles. That stabilizes the knee. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Big inhale. Full exhale. And 1 more inhale. Full exhale. We're going to keep this leg crossed this way. Get tall in the spine. If you're able to sit upright, you're going to start twisting to the left and take your right hand to your right foot, your left hand possibly around to the chair or even the back of the chair. Turn yourself way left. Keeping the legs just as they are. The only change that you might do to the legs right now is gently encourage them to the right. So away from the direction that you're turning your chest and eyes. You're turning your chest and eyes left. Maybe leaning your knees to the right slightly to add to the twist. Take 1 more breath there. Check the back of the neck that you're not lifting your chin and compressing the back of the neck. Drop your chin a little to lengthen the back of the neck. Turn back to the center. Uncross that right leg. Step it down, hang the knees in and out. We'll do 1 more thing with the right leg. Extend the right leg straight forward. Get tall in the spine. Pull the toes back again. Long through the whole back of the leg, so you've got that Achilles heel long. Tall spine, hinge at the hips again. The hinging at the hips provides the hamstring stretch here. So your top of the pelvis is going forward if you're getting that proper hinge. And the bottom of the pelvis, where the sitting bones are, is going back away from the right heel, which provides the hamstring stretch. Breathe here, slow. Especially the exhales. The longer you spend in the exhale, the more calming energy you might cultivate into your body. Make sure you're not just exhaling the upper half of the chest, exhale the belly too. Last exhale here. If you're watching this video on recorded part of this video, you could always pause and take longer time than any of these poses. As you like, go ahead and sit back up to the chest, step the leg to the ground, like knees in and out. We'll do 1 final thing before we go to the other leg. So walk yourself off to the left a little bit, turn on your chair. We're going to send the right leg way back. Toes might be turned under for now. Rock the heel left and right. Now, this idea is to get the right leg, right sitting bone off the chair, the left sitting bone on the chair. We're using the chair as an assist or a lunge, right? So this is a lunge with support of the chair. But what helps also with the chair is that we can relax this right leg for a moment and rock and release some of the ankle and heel. Some of us might be here, having the right knee only a little bit forward, but as best you can, get that right knee behind the right hip and extend it through the right heel, long right leg. If the toes turned under, feels okay with your toes, keep that. Lengthen up the spine, take your right arm up, look forward off the left knee, straight off the left knee, and reach the right arm up to the sky. You might side bend towards the chair as well, so away from me, if following along. You're going to side bend towards the chair. Left hand might support you on the chair to get a big crescent shape, not only front to back of body, but also right side of the body is the crescent to the left. Maybe look up and lift your heart up to the fingertips, wherever they're pointing. Go ahead and release that. Right hand down. Turn around, face back to the front. Drag your knees in and out again. Take your hands to your knees. We're going to do a little cat-cow just to recenter our spines. So arch around the back there. Inhale. Lift the heart, arch. Exhale. Round, pull the belly back. Take one more arch. One more round. Make sure you're at the front of the chair. If this were a longer class, we might practice walking again to the front and back of the chair, but we'll stay and just work the front of the end of the chair again. Take your arms forward again. Make the low ribs a little bit short towards the pelvis. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears, palms face up. Start to lean back. Try not to lean against the back of the chair and start marching your legs again. This is hard on shoulders. If you have frozen shoulder or any other issues in shoulders that are just not comfortable, just do whatever arm's available. Maybe you're here. Keep marching those legs as we start to dial the left arm to the side. Just the left arm. We're leaning halfway back towards the back of the chair just to show you. Now, from here, dial the right arm as the left arm comes back to center. So keep the angle even between the arms. Slowly dial them off to the left again. So the right arm is forward, left arm is totally side. Slowly dial them. Left arm forward, right arm is totally side. One more time, slowly dial them. That right angle stays even between the two arms. So the left arm is wide, the right arm is forward. Dial. Left arm forward, right arm side. Now, come back to right between, so you have both arms diagonally out. Now, maybe slowly open the arms more if your low back allows and your belly wants that work. Take one more breath. If you can get the arms out of the peripheral vision for the final, biggest version, feel free. Go ahead and release against the back of the chair. Legs go long and wide. Then arms go wide, open chest, breathe. Zip the legs together, reach the arms again overhead. Maybe you arch yourself again over the back of the chair. Maybe you look back, whatever amount of extension and front body extensors that you can get active, do so. Get as open and big in the front body as you can. Fingertips to toe-tips. Great. Release your hands back to your belly, step your feet back to the floor, take your right knee up, grab onto your, your left knee up, grab onto your left knee. Stir the left knee. Again, trying to get that thigh bone to move, not worrying so much about the shin and the foot. Just get the thigh bone, the knee itself, to draw giant circles, oblong, left to right circles. And then go the other way. Big exhale. Good. Great. The next time you get out wide with this left knee, hold it with your left hand. Take your right arm out wide to the side, arch the back even. Start pointing and flexing the left foot. Keep that pointing and flexing going and try rolling your right wrist as you're pointing and flexing the left foot. Notice if your left foot starts to try to circle with the right wrist, try to just keep the foot doing a linear pointing and flexing as the hand does a circular rolling. Switch the direction of the right hand, circling, keeping the left foot pointing and flexing. And an exhale. And then switch hands with the knee. Grab the knee with the other hand. Pull the left knee to the right shoulder. Take your left arm out wide. Maybe turn your chest off to the left. If you have any hip stuff, don't pull too hard, especially if you have a recent hip replacement. We want to keep the hip socket stable. But this is a good stretch for the outer left hip. Breathe here. It's also crossbody work as well as turning torso and twisting the spine. Come back to center, grab this left knee with your left hand, turn the shin open so the left foot's on the inner line, the left knee is on the wide line, and rock the shin left to right. And cross the left ankle on the right knee, let the left knee fall open, pull the left toes back and reach through the heel. Once you have that shin, the muscles basically on the calf and the toes activated, practice relaxing that left hip at the same time. If you're available to sitting up, go ahead and sit up. If you're somewhere between, play with just arching the low back, maybe pushing your waist somewhat up. But if you can come up upright, perpendicular to the spine, do so to start. Breathe. Practice starting to relax that inner hip, outer hip. If you need more, fold forward. Again, check that right shin bone is perpendicular to the ground. Best you can. We're trying to keep this right leg steady as the pedestal for the left ankle. Notice if there's tension in the jaw or the neck that you can release, not by just slumping, because that may also be reflected in the low back. So you want to keep the low back, doing some reaching up to the heart. The heart might be the lure for the low back to lengthen. But then you can relax anything above the heart, shoulders, neck, jaw. As long as you keep that low back pretty integrated into the pose. Again, left to right. Notice if you're leaning away from the work. Lean into the work. Take 2 more breaths. Go ahead, if you're able to sit upright and twist to the right. Taking your left hand to that left foot, right hand around to the right side of the chair. Big tall spine, rolling the right ribs back, left ribs to face the front. Eyes going right. If you're leaning back in this pose, and for those of you who might be leaning back, you might just lift the left ribs off the back of the chair. You can stay leaning back and add the twist as long as it doesn't feel like it's messing with your low back. Always take care of yourself there as your final couple breaths here. As you're in them, lean your knees possibly to the left as you're turning your chest right. And some deeper inhales to lengthen the spine, deeper exhales to twist more. Turn back to face forward, uncross the left leg and extending it in front of you. Can't remember if we did any release there. Let's try to do a quick release of this hip. Sometimes it's useful to do a sweep of the straight leg to release that hip. Do the full hamstring stretch of the left leg, so pull the toes back again. We're going to be tilting the pelvis forward from the top, forward, so that the bottom of the pelvis goes back to get the hamstring stretch. Solid right leg, still the same way. Inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold towards the straight left leg. Stay here, breathe, and let the energy shift slowly, layer by layer. Breath by breath, every exhale, an opportunity to relax something that might be over tensing. Every inhale, an opportunity to engage something that might be underutilized, underengaged. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm using it. One more breath or two here. Always notice if the left toes point straight to the ceiling. Try to keep them pointing straight to the ceiling, and also always notice if the sides of the foot sickle. One side, oftentimes the outer edge of the foot will reach forward and the inner edge back towards you. Try and shift that so they're both reaching forward evenly. Go ahead and sit up from there. Take the left foot down, wag knee. Final little pose here, turning to your right so that you can make room for the left leg to slide back. Wherever it can go. Sometimes if you have toe pain, grabbing onto the cuff of pants if you have pants on, or you can put a block or a pillow under the left ankle here if you want, so that the toes don't get crunched here. A lot of times there's toe issues in Parkinson, so we'll just go to the same pose we did on the other side, reaching that left knee behind the hip as far as we can, right leg solid again, similar pedestal. Take the left arm up along the ear, open the chest, find a nice crescent shape from the left heel to the left fingertips, front to back, and then add the crescent shape side to side by side bending towards the chair a little bit. Right hand is on the chair, lifting the left ribs up. Left arm is up here. Left arm is up here, leaning towards the chair, or rather away from the screen. Good. Another couple breaths. Maybe you look up at your fingertips, reach your heart to the fingertips, one last breath. Release that gently and slowly turn your way back to face forward. Drag the knees in and out. Well, I've spent a lot of time seated in this class, so I suppose this is a chair yoga class for the most part today, but we'll do some standing right now. So stepping your feet a little wide, and then our knees a little wide, stepping your feet up close to the chair. We'll practice standing out of the chair with this wide-legged squat. So starting here, wide knees, send the knees nice and wide, actively engage, reaching the knees wide as you reach your arms forward, lengthening the spine. The further forward you get your arms and the further forward you can get your head, the more weight you get out past your toes, that's going to provide the opportunity to get your butt out of the chair and be able to stand up from that squat. Good. If you can do that, do so. If you have another technique to get out of the chair, do so. Make your way to standing and then turn, grab your chair and put it in front of you. We'll step the feet out wide from here. And turn the toes out wide. And then bend the knees out as best we can, right over the ankles. Now I have my feet quite wide. The goal should be, however wide you can get your feet, you get your knees that wide too. So sometimes if you get your feet narrow but the knees go wide, step the feet wider. If that doesn't, that's not available to you, then don't bend the knees so far. We don't want the knees going really past the ankles in this very much. A little bit's okay. So we're going to rock left and right with the wide knees and feet. Deep exhale. Now play with lifting the opposite toes. When you bend one knee, you lift the toes of the other leg. When you straighten the leg, you lift the toes. So rocking and lifting toes. And then back to center, bending both knees. This is goddess pose, goddess legs here. If you have balance, now sometimes people fall backwards in this pose because there's no toes on our heels, right? So you want to make sure you have your balance. You might start with your arms forward for a modified goddess. And maybe play with going up to cactus with the elbows. Dropping the hips any lower. Opening the chest any more, just making sure that there isn't any weight too much in the backs of the heels there. Good. Straighten the legs, maybe straighten the arms. If this puts you off balance, grab the chair, but otherwise big spread eagle, legs and arms. You can inhale and exhale. Let the shoulder blades fall towards each other on the back. Good. Release your hands to your hips or the chair. Swivel the right toes now to the left and turn the left toes directly left. Lunge the left knee. Maybe walk this, I'm walking my right foot a little further back to get a longer stance. This is all fine. The longer you go, the better, except unless you get way past the length of one leg. So the idea is to get this left knee right over the ankle. Now push down through all four corners of the left foot. So notice if you're leaning your knee towards the screen, for example, you want it to be right over the left ankle, or at least in line with the left ankle. Even if it's a shallower bend, it's not turned towards me. It's turned directly to point off the left second toe. And then try to push evenly into all four corners of that left foot. It will help save the knee. Take your left arm out over the knee and the ankle, right arm out over the back ankle. Good. You can always use the chair here, right here, in front of you. Now, let's try leaning forward over that knee. Keep the left knee bent as you lift the left arm and ribs. So keep the left knee bent. This is called exalted warrior. Good. We're going to practice a side angle pose. Left hand to the knee, right arm up along the ear, or left elbow to knee if you want to go a little further, right arm up along the ear. Plug into that outer right foot and the right heel. If you can push down and the back heel, right? Back heel down. Make sure you're still evenly weighted in all four corners of the left foot. Try turning your chest a little more open to the ceiling. Awesome. Drop your right hand back to the chair. Push off the left leg. Stand up, turn the toes. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, soften the knees. Send the hips back. Scoot the chair forward if you like and fold halfway. Now, this is a lot of options here. I'm just going to move through this as just a passing pose, so you don't even have to necessarily do this. But I'm going to be here for another breath. Go ahead and slowly come back up, bring your chair back in if it's available, please. Make sure you haven't fallen down. If you have, pause the video and get back up. Go ahead and turn the right toes off to the right now. Turn the left toes perpendicular to the right foot or even a little bit turned towards the right foot. Now lunge your right knee. Check that that right knee is right over the ankle. Yeah, so, and plug down into all four corners of the right foot. So like a car, all four wheels evenly pushed. Now, obviously the foot is not a symmetrical thing, but can we feel inner and outer heel, inner and outer front knuckles in the floor? Take your right arm out over your right ankle. If you have the balance, left foot hand out of the left ankle. Try relaxing the shoulders. A good technique to relax the shoulders is turn the arms all the way over, palms facing the ceiling. Shoulders then can roll down the back a little easier. And then keep that shoulder orientation so the upper arms stay open even as you turn your palms back over. So there's a spiral in both arms there. Hands going this way, shoulders going the other way. Good. Keep the lunge deep in the right knee as we exalt the warrior or reverse warrior. So lifting the right ribs, right arm along the ear. Wonderful. One more breath. Keeping that weight into the outer left foot and inner left foot is also like somewhat pushing down, but also lifting a little. Drop your right elbow now. Side angle practice here. Right hand to be a little more gentle, or right elbow to be a little more extensive, a little more energetic. Left arm along the ear, always using that chair for balance. Good work. Maybe turning the chest open to the ceiling, another breath. Great. Go ahead and place your hand on the chair. Put your hand on the chair, turn the feet back to parallel. One more, soft knees, scoot the chair forward, send the hips back. Reach back so your weight's over your feet as fast as possible. So we want to make sure that we're not putting weight in the chair, but actually just using the chair to hang our fingertips and to reach for us, something to reach for. Trying to create solid foundation of our legs as the center of the pose or the foundation of the pose, and then reaching out from the hips. Reach the hips back and arms forward. One more breath. Go ahead and soften the knees in order to lift the chest and stand. Wheel toe those feet back into center. Good. Let's just march the legs a moment just to release that. And then lift the knees left and right. All right, well, we've done a lot of seated poses today, which is totally fine, and then a few of those standing poses. We have to come down to the floor and finish class, so anytime, any way you'd like to get yourself to the floor, go ahead and make your way down. Oftentimes using the seat of the chair is helpful, and then stepping down one knee and then the other, and then stepping hands to the floor, move the chair out of the way. You might turn to your side and then turn over on your back right away. Getting yourself to your back, stepping the feet to the floor. Good. Once you're on your back and your feet are on the floor, the knees are bent towards the ceiling. Bring your arms alongside your hips. We'll do one bridge pose here. So feet tucked up close to sitting bones, right under the knees. Feet are also hip width, so maybe 6 to 8 inches between the feet. Take the shoulders, roll them into the ears first, like you're shrugging your shoulders up to your ears, and then push them down into the ground from there. You might bend your elbows so your palms are facing each other like right angle elbows, palms facing each other like robot arms, is what I've said. Then push into the upper arms, push into the feet, and raise the pelvis. As best you can, walk those shoulder blades towards each other, elbows towards each other, lifting the heart. Trying to stay relatively neutral in the back of the neck. You're not trying to force the back of the neck into the ground at all. If anything, lift your chin a little off your sternum so your neck has a natural curve. Again, check that you're pushing down evenly 4 corners of the feet. Check into the inner edges and the outer edges of the feet and try and keep the knees right over those feet to get that pressure. 2 more breaths in bridge. Can you extend the thighs out of the hips, over the knees? Slowly roll the spine down from shoulder blades to mid-back to pelvis to sitting bones. Take your knees into your chest. Circle the knees separate or together. Step the feet to the floor together and let the knees fall wide in diamond shape so you have a supine bound angle pose. Close your eyes with one palm on your heart, one on your belly. Take some deep breaths, including a deep exhale every time. Don't just exhale the upper chest, exhale the belly as well. Don't just inhale the upper chest, inhale the belly as well. Two more breaths in supine down native pose. So done with that last exhale, slowly close your knees together and then step your feet wide of the mat. I am going to go over time by a few minutes, but please stick with me. Feet wide of the mat, knees go knock knee. Take your arms out wide to the sides from the shoulders, straight off the shoulders. So your feet are wider than the mat and your knees are knock knee together. And then from here, you're going to keep your feet where they are, but let your right knee fall open way wide to the side. So your right knee falls to the right. Your left knee will just fall down to the midline wherever it falls. So it's a supine twist with wide legs, knees bent at right angles. And this way we get a stretch on that left thigh and left hip. And this way you feel free to lift your left sitting bone off the floor. Reach your left arm out of your shoulder. Reach your left knee away from your left hip, so you're stretching the left thigh more. A morning pandiculation is what they call it, actually. A morning stretch. You expand and stretch and squeeze muscles together all at the same time. Go ahead and release that meaning just slowly swivel your knees back to center, keeping those feet wide. So we're just going to go to the other side, keeping the feet wide, swivel the knees so that the left knee falls totally wide, the right knee falls to the midline, your feet stay wide. Turning your head to the right. Reach the right arm out of the shoulder, reach your right knee away from your right hip. Everything, feet staying where they were, lifting your low right back off the ground, arching the back, and extending right shoulder through the hand. So all of this just sort of about squeezing the muscles together and expanding. Just imagine you're getting a nice morning stretch, how this feels, how that feels, and trying to cultivate that into your body. Go ahead and relax that. Come back to center with the knees. Draw the knees one more time up into the chest. Circle those knees either together or away from each other. So we can do circles in union or separately if you like. And then extend your legs along the ground for Shavasana. Once you're in your ideal Shavasana pose, which could be long legs on the ground on your back with your arms a little off the hips, palms facing the ceiling. Close your eyes and breathe. Let yourself relax into gravity completely. Let your breath do what it does to breathe calm into the body. Relax your jaw, relax your neck, relax your ears, relax your forehead. Relax your eyeballs, relax your spine. Relax your brain inside your skull. Relax your throat and collarbones, relax your shoulders, heads of the arm bones, elbows, out to the forearms and the inner wrists, through the palms, into the knuckles and fingertips. Relax your heart, relax your ribcage and your belly, diaphragm. Relax your low back muscles, your pelvic floor. Relax your front hips, relax your buttocks, side waist and hips. Relax the thigh bones and the hip sockets completely. And the thighs, and the kneecaps, and the hamstrings. Relax your calves, relax your shins, muscles on the outer rim of your shin, or even the hairs on your shins. Can you relax the subtlest energies in the body, tops of the ankles, the Achilles heel. Relax the sole of the foot on each side, each toe on each foot. Relax the whole front body into the back body, into the floor, into the foundation of the building, into the earth. 3 more breaths here, exhaling longer with each exhale. Calming, staying relaxed from the body, the back body, the floor, the building, into the earth. Gently start to move your fingers and toes over your wrists and ankles. Bend your knees and step your feet to the floor. Or, even more, grab your knees and circling and hugging into the wall. When you're ready, turn to one side. Take a resting breath on your side. Gently push your way up to a seat or stay lying on your side or back. Make your way into a comfortable position where you can take a last moment of reflection and gratitude. Close your eyes, take your hands together at your heart. Take a couple breaths and relax tensions in the body that you can. Thank yourself for committing to this practice and endeavoring to find your capacities and expand them wherever possible. Find gratitude for that which you dedicate your practice to, that is enlightening you. And gratitude in general for this spark of life we get to nurture in our time on this planet, and all the other sparks of life we encounter in our time. Chant final Om in honor of all that. Inhale. I bow to the light in your heart. It's the same light in my heart. Namaste.